Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Money Mike, and this is the podcast of wrestling, where we cover all the wrestling news around the world. And this weekend has been a crazy weekend in pro wrestling. We have a new Impact World Champion. We have fans upset in Charlotte, North Carolina. A special appearance, a surprise appearance in AAA, and more. So this video will go up on Monday, and as you can see, I was trying to put up like Sin City SummerSlam on this sign, but like this thing is too small to spell out SummerSlam, so I just went with Sin City SmackDown. But this will go up on Monday. And then Tuesday or Wednesday, there's going to be a SummerSlam predictions video that I will do. As I will actually be going to SummerSlam. I'll be in Vegas for SummerSlam. So I went to AEW Dynamite a couple weeks ago here in Charlotte. So I'm looking forward to my first WWE event being SummerSlam this Saturday. So let's go over some of the news and notes over the weekend here in pro wrestling. And there's no better way to start this off than woo! Ric Flair was released from the WWE over a week or 2 weeks ago, and he's already made his first non-WWE appearance since his release. On Saturday night, he showed up in the corner of his future son-in-law Andrade, as Andrade faced Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega title at TripleMania. And as you can see here, I got this tweet here of Conan, Ric Flair, and Charlotte backstage. There was a lot of people that, ironically enough, WWE ran a super show here in Charlotte on Saturday night, and I did not go to that. But I heard from a lot of reports saying that people were mad and upset because Charlotte Flair did not appear on the show. So apparently what happened was WWE was advertising Charlotte for this event, and I guess they forgot that she was going to be out of the country, and I don't know what happened there, like a big misstep there from WWE's standpoint. But Sasha and Bianca also did not make an appearance, even though they were scheduled, so I don't know what happened to that or what the story is behind that. But fans there in Charlotte were not happy, but that Charlotte wasn't there and that Sasha and Bianca wasn't there. But for those that are wondering, this here in this tweet you see Charlotte was there in Mexico as she was backstage supporting Andrade, as Flair did show up in the corner of Andrade, and he had some cool moments there in the match, in which, 2021 is just a wild year in wrestling. Can we just say that? Who thought we would see Ric Flair and Kenny Omega in the ring at the same time? You got a cool spot there during the match where Rick and Andrade do double chops to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega gets chopped by Flair. He turns, gets chopped by Andrade, and he goes back and forth for a bit. There was also a cool spot with a double figure four. So I thought that was kind of cool. But how crazy is wrestling in 2021? Ric Flair, Kenny Omega in the same ring. It's crazy. Man, the world we live in today, where WWE is not just the only wrestling promotion out there. And by that, I mean, like, there's, as in, WWE isn't just the only place for superstars to go. They can actually go somewhere else. And, yeah, I know people in the comments saying, oh, Ring of Honor, Impact's been around. Yeah. But it's never been this crazy. Like, you're talking about AEW, AAA, Impact, you got Ring of Honor, you got all these big promotions, and we know AEW is working with Impact, New Japan as well. I want to throw New Japan in there too. You know, and you see just how they're all working together, and it's so cool to see that. And just, I think, to me, more promotions should work together. I mean, I would love to see AEW do like a big super show with like New Japan, Impact at the Jaguar Stadium. I think that should be the goal of AEW in the partnership with Impact, but I don't want to get too far carried away from that. But yeah, Ric Flair showed up in the corner of Andrade in AAA. Makes you wonder: is he going to manage Andrade in AEW? Is what is Charlotte going to be AEW bound when her contract's up in WWE? Because if her father's there, her future husband is there, like man, that would be a shift if Charlotte ever made the jump to AEW. Charlotte, Britt Baker, give me that easily any day of the week. So let's move on from that, because as I said, I was talking about the partnership with AEW and Impact. Ring of Honor sent out this tweet, and I want you guys to give me comments below. What do you guys think? Should Ring of Honor open that forbidden door? Because that's interesting they would tweet that out. Because given the fact that, Kenny, the Bucks, Cody, they all have a relationship with Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor and New Japan had a partnership that kind of brought the Bullet Club over to America, exposed people to New Japan, and essentially it would be very interesting to see Cody and the Bucks and the Elite and all of them kind of show up, Ring of Honor and Ring of Honor stars showing up on AEW. But man, I mean, if Ring of Honor gets involved in this and we start seeing promotions, talent crossing over and going through this forbidden door, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but WWE, you guys need to open that forbidden door. Like, this isn't the 90s no more. This isn't the Monday Night Wars. This isn't the Attitude Era where it was this bad thing for people to go over to the other company. Like, you see what's going on with Impact and AEW, and yeah, I mean, some people might question, well, what's Impact getting out of this? I've seen people say, well, AEW's been the only people to benefit. And, sure, some of the booking, yeah. I mean, would it have been nice to see someone other than like a homegrown talent beat a homegrown Impact star beat Kenny Omega for the Impact title instead of Christian? I think that should have been the end goal, but outside of that, I don't really know if Impact really had anyone that could beat Kenny Omega for that title, because otherwise the only thing that I could see realistically would be if WWE played ball and opened that forbidden door. And if you had booked this, like, if you had booked this in a way where it was like just where, yeah, we know they're working together, but there's still that kayfabe element of the entire Montreal Screwjob. Like, the entire basis of the Montreal Screwjob was that Vince McMahon was feared. He feared Bret Hart taking the WWF Championship to Monday Nitro, to WCW. And, you know, the thing here, and which is my only complaint with this AEW Impact partnership, is that there hasn't really been any fallout from this. You know, Kenny Omega being the Impact AEW World Champion, him taking that title over to Impact, he's showing up with the title on Impact. Omega being an AEW superstar, winning the Impact title, and, you know, now he's taking their title to AEW, and it's like this whole thing is kind of like, yeah, it's fun to work together, but you've still got to create this element that that the company still cares that their title, that cares for the fact that their title or their world title is being held by somebody else in another company. So there's still got to be the element of, hey, you lost you lost the title to this person who works in another promotion. We're disappointed in you. You know, there should be some kind of resentment for that, and it's like one, and you know, and like I said, if the only way this would have worked for Christian to not get the Impact title, for somebody other than Christian to get the Impact title, would have been something very similar to what happened 20 years ago when Mike Awesome was the ECW champion and he went to WCW with the title, and ECW was not happy. Paul Heyman wasn't happy, and, you know, the story was that there was going to be a bunch of ECW superstars that would go to the WCW hotel to get the belt from him, and like it, and, you know, they worked out some deal with WWE where Taz, who was under contract with WWE, Taz went to ECW one night to challenge Mike Awesome for the title. And it was a WWE contracted superstar versus a WCW contracted superstar for the ECW championship. And the only way that you could have had anything close to like a homegrown Impact wrestling star doing, like, winning the title, you know, would have been cool to see something like that, where WWE like agrees to a deal with, like, you know, AJ Styles or Samoa Joe, like, goes over to defend the company they helped build and put on the map. So that would have been fun. That would have been fun and interesting. But only if WWE would play ball and just open the forbidden door, man. So that's going to lead into the next one. Is that's going to lead to my next story. We're going to stay with AEW here. So Shaquille O'Neal. We all know Shaquille O'Neal. He wrestled in a tag match a couple months ago for AEW. And, well, he was lied to. QT Marshall, he said, hey, you know, Shaq was didn't feel comfortable with the table spot, doing the table spot that he did. And then basically QT Marshall said, hey, you know, just go ahead and, you know, it's padded, you know, whatever, and you'll be safe. Well, turns out he was lied to. It wasn't padded. And the explanation that QT Marshall gave for why he lied to Shaq, I mean, yeah, okay, you want Shaq to do the spot, to put, to go through the table and stuff, which is fine. But to lie to him and say to lie, basically outright lie, which would have put AEW in hot water with TNT most likely. Because if Shaq would have gotten hurt during that table spot, I mean, Shaq does pregame coverage on TNT in the NBA for the NBA coverage. I mean, if Shaq would have gotten hurt, if there's some legal issues that would open up the AEW to lawsuits from Shaq for getting injured and not, not, as Bret Hart would put it, not a safe working environment. But QT Marshall explained that, hey, it's wrestling, and it's like, bruh, QT, John Cena and The Rock have insurance policies that they get if something were to happen to them when they wrestle, and something happens where, because they get injured, they get hurt, and it delays filming of a new movie they are working on. Look what happened to The Rock. The Rock at WrestleMania 29 had that match with John Cena. He got injured during the match, and let's just say the movie people were not happy with WWE after that. And then John Cena has said, he has come out and said that, the insurance policy and stuff within the movies is why he hasn't come back sooner. And essentially, John Cena is set to go film a movie in London after SummerSlam. So, I mean, I can't imagine if John Cena were to get injured against Roman Reigns, like how far, I mean, that would set the movie back, or movie filming back. So there's like a lot of different parts there with that, and from a legal standpoint. QT really did not think this through. Shaq is still going to wrestle for AEW. He said he's going to come back and wrestle later. Perhaps we'll get Shaq versus Big Show finally. Paul White. And Shaq basically was like, "Oh, you lied to me. There was no pad under there." And it was, QT says that's wrestling. Welcome to wrestling. Like, bro, he's a wrestling fan. He knows that. But you can't just risk his injury, like him getting injured and whatnot. But yeah, so that's the news for this weekend. Like I said, Christian is now the new Impact World Champion. We are now just days away from SummerSlam, and I will be there. I will be back late Sunday coming back. So probably Monday or Tuesday of next week, I will have a review of SummerSlam, and I'll give you the live reaction of how it was at SummerSlam, and much more coming up. Like I said, I am rebranding my channel, coming up with new shows. Like I said, basically, even though this is the podcast of wrestling, essentially for the most part, it's going to be renamed to something else, and I already have an idea of what I want to rename the show. And also, remember, my football show will be coming up in a couple weeks. The very first show back is going to be my predictions video for the 2021 NFL season. That is going to be coming up next month. And as I said, SummerSlam predictions video Tuesday or Wednesday. So subscribe to this channel for more wrestling news, more football news during the upcoming football season. I've been your host, Money Mike, and I will see y'all next week when I get back from SummerSlam, and let's just hope we have a good show.